Have a nice day. Today is Friday, 7th of March 2025. Starting the newspaper with the world news, including SpaceX losses contact with the Starship during the test flight, debris seen over Florida. Zelensky optimistic about the key United States-Ukraine talks in Saudi Arabia. North Korean escapee reveals that happens to citizens who buy a TV. After Mexico, Trump exempts Canadian goods from tariffs. Pellicot's daughter seeks justice, accuses jailed father of assault. Nepal Prime Minister Oli challenges a former king to contest in polls. Now, starting with the Hindu newspaper, Zelensky to visit Saudi Arabia on March 10. Zelensky says his trip was to meet Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. After that, my team will stay in Saudi Arabia to work with our American partners. Ukraine is most interested in place, he says. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky will visit Saudi Arabia next Monday, March 10, 2025, a day before planned talks there was between senior Ukrainian and United States officials on ending the war with Russia. Mr. Zelensky said his trip was to meet Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. After that, my team will be staying in Saudi Arabia to work with our American partners. Ukraine is most interested in the peace, he said in the post on platform X. It will take over 190 years for the gender parity in employment. International Labour Organization, as of 2023, women hold just 30% of managerial positions of the globally, which is a modest improvement over the past 2 decades. Just the International Labour Organization said through the progress towards the equality has occurred over the past 30 years, but has been modest and uneven. Women hold just 30% of the managerial positions globally, with only a modest improvement over the past 2 decades, according to Women and the Economy. 30 years after the Beijing Declaration, a brief released in the Geneva by the International Labour Organization (ILO) on the occasion of the International Women's Day, cautioning that at this pace, achieving gender parity in employment rates globally will take over 190 years. The report found that women continue to be overrepresented in low-paid sectors like nursing and childcare, while men dominate fields like transport and mechanics. They also continue to face lower average earnings and fewer paid working hours globally, and are overrepresented in informal employment in low and lower middle income countries, the report added. Women in corporate leadership delivered a reality. The International Labour Organization said through the progress towards equality has occurred over the past 30 years, but has been modest and uneven. Crises including COVID-19 pandemic have interrupted that progress, the International Labour Organization said in the brief. In 2024, 46.4% of the working age women were employed, compared to 69.5% of men. In over 30 years, the gender employment gap has narrowed by only 4 percentage points, with high income and lower middle income countries exhibiting the largest reduction. At this pace of progress, achieving gender parity in employment rates globally will take over 190 years, the report noted. Between 2004 and 2024, the brief said progress has been made in reducing gender inequalities in annual earnings per worker across all the country income groups, particularly in low-income countries. However, employed women globally still earn significantly less on average than men, work fewer paid hours, and are overrepresented in informal employment in low and lower middle income countries, it said. Globally, in 2024, women worked approximately 6 hours and 25 minutes less per week than men in paid employment. However, women spend 3.2 times more hours on unpaid care work than men. Excessive and unequal care responsibilities keep 708 million women outside the labor force globally, the brief found. As of 2023, women hold just 30% of managerial positions globally, which is a modest improvement over the past 2 decades. Low-income countries have demonstrated significant progress, with women's representation in the management rising from 24.7 to 36.5%. The report said it added that women are 1.6 times more likely than men to experience sexual violence and harassment in the work of world, with the young and migrant women being at greater risk. 3 decades since world leaders are gathered in the Beijing and pledging to advance the rights of women. Worldwide significant challenges remain in fulfilling the Beijing Declaration, said Shukti Das Gupta, director of the International Labour Organization, Conditions of Work and Equality Department. Urgent reforms are needed to address unequal care responsibilities, wage gaps between the women and men, and violations and harassments in the world of work, factors which continue to make workplaces more unequal and less safe for women, she added. Now, going towards the Hindustan newspaper states that agriculture key focus in early India-United States trade talks. The Trump administration is keen for greater access to Indian markets for a variety of American agricultural produce. Agriculture has emerged as one of the key focus area of the ongoing discussion between India and the United States for a trade deal. People familiar with the matter said, adding that despite popular perception, it is a possible for either the country to enhance the market access for produce by reducing tariffs and removing non-tariff barriers. It can be done on the reciprocal basis as the two countries are complementing and are not competing with each other in a host of items, making greater market access for those items possible without hurting their respective farming communities. One of them said, citing pulses, edible oil, tree nuts, forest products, and frozen turkey and frozen duck as products that India could import from the United States. FIR is not reliant on prior probe in the Kraft cases. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court emphasized that while a preliminary inquiry may be desirable in certain instances, it is neither a vested right of the accused nor a statutory mandate under the BC Act 1988. New Delhi conducting a preliminary inquiry before lodging a corruption case is not a mandatory legal requirement. Nor it is a compulsory for a first information report FIR to be lodged prior to the commencing probe. The Supreme Court has ruled nothing. The law enforcement agencies must not be restrained by unnecessary administrative hurdles in initiating investigations. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, Nitin Gadkari blames faulty DPRs, poor civil engineering for increasing road accidents. Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has said, even though there are mistakes, no one is held accountable. Even small things like the road signage and marking systems are very poor in the country. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said that Indian Road Congress, the premier body for road and highway standards in India, has become a pleasure trip organization. As United States sanctions cast a shadow on India's Russian oil imports, smaller suppliers from Africa, Latin America cash in February month. India's oil imports from Russia declined 14.5% month-on-month to 1.43 million barrels per day. BPD at the lowest since January 2023, shows the data from the commodity markets analytics firm Kepler. With the exception of Iraq, which is India's second largest supplier, crude oil imports from the other key West Asian suppliers, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, declined sequentially. Market extended rally surges 0.93% as FII are selling ease and DII buys. Small caps recover, led by the 2.6% error gain on RIL. The Sensex relied by another 0.83% in the reclaim of the 74,000 level at 74,340.09, and the Nifty index rose by 0.93% to 22,544.70 on Thursday. Insurance companies like LIC and fund houses, which are flush with the funds, are expected to mop up stocks at rock bottom valuations in several segments. After the 1% gain on Wednesday, the stock markets continued their upward momentum on Thursday, rising by 0.93% as selling pressure from foreign institutional investors, FIIs, subsidized, and domestic institutional investors. DIIs remain net buyers, snapping by up battered stocks at attractive valuations. In a notable reversal, small cap stocks, which had borne the brunt of heavy selling in recent weeks, regained some lost ground. This resurgence suggests that investors are beginning to capitalize on the attractive valuations in the large cap and small cap segments. Global coordination can trump efforts to undercut climate predictions. The weather is local while climate is global, but a good weather forecast still requires a global patterns to be captured and accounted for. With Donald Trump's government taking a sledgehammer to the NOAA, climate predictions may need to be prepared the same way climate predictions are. From Science and Tech, we have in one of his first acts in his second term as a president of the United States, Donald Trump fired several hundred employees as of the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. The move triggered a lot of discussions in the climate community and beyond about how it will cut critical weather and climate services. The climate community has been working hard to help people adapt to the effects of climate change and build resilience against the consequences in the future. So it does not help that NOAA has now been downsized. While this is unfortunate, this is not entirely surprising, considering the NOAA was also under considerable pressure during the Trump's first term as United States president. Pregnant women put to hardship by a new facial recognition system to get a nutritious kit. File picture of nutrition kit being distributed to mothers at an Anganwadi center in the Tamil Nadu. The system requires Anganwadi workers to upload photos of the women who avail themselves of the kit. The workers say that this is impractical, owing constant several issues and bad phones. Anganwadi workers in the state have highlighted the impracticality of implementing a facial recognition system which requires them to upload a photo of pregnant women who avail themselves of a nutritious kit benefit under the Integrated Child Development Services Scheme. The Anganwadi teachers have been finding it difficult to upload the photos due to the server issue and bad phones. The facial recognition system, which was introduced by the center and rolled out in the state recently, required pregnant women and lactating mothers availing themselves of the take-home ration, THR, and nutritious food package to register themselves on the Fortune Tracker app with their Aadhaar card and mobile phone number at the nearest Anganwadi. Harnessing the gut microbiome to halt vitiligo pets. Students wearing Michael Jackson masks at an awareness program on vitiligo in Chennai. Vitiligo is a chronic autoimmune disorder where the body's defense system begins to attack the pigment-producing cells and causes depigmented white patches on the skin. While usually the condition can be only cosmetic, these patches on the skin can be stigmatizing for the patient. The current decade will probably be known as the decade of the gut, given the incredible number of the significant biological connections we are making between the gut and human well-being. However, this is not about the gut per se. This is about the role of gut-friendly bacteria in the process of the repigmentation, particularly in the presence with vitiligo. Vitiligo is a chronic autoimmune disorder where the body defense system begins to attack the pigment-producing cells and causing the depigmentous white patches on the skin. While usually condition can be only cosmetic, these patches on the skin can be stigmatizing for the patient, particularly if they are present on the face of arms. And thus, there's new research from Northwestern University from a preclinical trial in mice has shown that a natural compound derived from the gut-friendly bacteria significantly slows down the progression of vitiligo and may restore pigmentation. The finding is substantiated through rigorous double-blind and random-controlled clinical trials could offer a hope to millions affected by autoimmune disease. International Women's Day. Meet 3 women entrepreneurs in Visakhapatnam who are redefining success. Farzana Begum, a cancer survivor, during a training session at her women's gym fit with the Fab office in Visakhapatnam. Breaking barriers in the fitness, agriculture, and education. These are three women entrepreneurs of Visakhapatnam are leading change. Fit with Fab. Farzana Begum walks into a fit with Fab every morning in the Visakhapatnam hijab neatly tucked in place, a symbol of her identity. My hijab is a part of me, just like my strength. It does not limit me. It empowers me. She says, in a field where women are often underrepresented. Yeah, she stands tall. Fitness is for everyone, no matter what you are. What you wear. Strength comes from within, she adds. When Farzana Begum lost her mother in 2014, she realized how often women's health takes a backseat in families. Determined to challenge this, began advocating for fitness among women, only to face resistance from families reluctant to send them to gyms. And undeterred, she pursued certification to become a fitness coach. Her journey, however, was not without challenges. In 2017, a tumor in her spine required surgery, forcing her to pause. Yet she moved to Visakhapatnam and started training a small group of women on Beach Road. Just as she was gaining momentum, another hurdle came in 2019, a diagnosis of T-cell lymphoma. After a malignant tumor was found in her rib, the battle with the cancer was grueling, with rounds of chemotherapy testing her resolve. The phase was one of the toughest. Looking back, Farzana says the setback was a setup for a comeback. In 2020 post-treatment. She founded Fit with Fat and all women's gym in the Visakhapatnam, creating a safe space where women can train without inhibitions. Her journey caught the attention of many, even leading to an appearance on a television show hosted by actor Balakrishna, where she was honored in the presence of the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. Farzana believes that women, especially those who in their peri and menopausal phases, need to prioritize strength training. It is not just about fitness; it is about reclaiming your strength at every stage of life. She says, adding women in their 40s and beyond must embrace strength training, take charge of their fitness, and then never let societal restrictions define their limits. It is not just about staying fit, but preventing osteoporosis, improving metabolism, and boosting confidence. United States firm targets second moon landing with the drill recovers drone. A view of the initiative mission's near West lunar lander. NASA's Lunar Trailblazer probe launched on the same rocket has however been unreachable since launch, with controllers are on the ground struggling to establish contact. A drill to search for ice, a 4G network test, three rovers, and first of its kind hopping drone. After becoming the first private firm to land on the moon last year, Intuitive Machines is aiming for its second lunar touchdown on Thursday, carrying a cutting-edge payloads to support further human missions. The Houston-based company is targeting no earlier than 1732 GMT at Mars Mountain, a plateau near the lunar north pole, farther south than any robot has ventured. NASA will live stream the landing an hour before touchdown as antenna. The 4.8-meter hexagonal lander above the height of a carafe defigures its descent. It kind of feels like a mission, like this mission is straight out of one of our favorite sci-fi movies, said Nikki Fox, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science. Initiative mission is the first landing in February 2024 was landmark achievement, but ended with its lander tripping onto its side on an outcome the company is determined to avoid this time. The pressure is on after Texas rival Firefly Aerospace successfully landed its Blue Ghost lander on Sunday, becoming the most second private company to reach the moon. Both missions are the part of NASA's $2.6 billion commercial lunar payload services (CLPS) program, which partners with the private industry to cost and support Artemis, the initiative to return astronauts to the moon and eventually reach Mars. At last, there is a famous prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is known as Isa ibn Maryam. was a first century preacher in Islam. He is the next to the last prophet and messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sent to guide the children of Israel with their revelation. He is believed to be the descendant of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and is seen as an example for all Muslims to follow. According to the Quran, Jibril alayhi salatu wasalam told that the name of the figure will be Isa ibn Maryam. In the Quran, Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam, the Isa ibn Maryam, Isa alayhi salam, is described as the Messiah born of a virgin, performing miracles accompanied by his disciples and rejected by Jewish religious establishment. In contrast to the traditional Christian narrative, however, he is stated to have not been crucified, died on the cross, nor resurrected. Rather, he is depicted as having been miraculously saved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ascending into the heavens. The Quran places Isa alayhi salatu wasalam among the greatest prophets and mentions him with the various titles. The prophethood of Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam, that is Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, is preceded by that of the Yahya, John, and succeeded by Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, the later of whom Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam, that is Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, is reported in the Quran to have prophesied by using the name Ahmad. Christians view Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam, Jesus Christ, that is actually Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, as God incarnate, the Son of God in a human flesh. But the Quran denies that divinity of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam and his status as Son of God in several verses, and also insinuates that Jesus Christ, that is Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, do not claim to be a personally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nor the Son of God. Nauzubillah. Islam teaches that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam original message was altered after his being raised alive. The monotheism, Tawheed of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is emphasized in the Quran. Like all prophets in Islam, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is also called a Muslim, as he preached that his followers should adopt the straight path, Siratul Mustaqim. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is attributed to the vast number of miracles in Islamic tradition. In their views of Islamic eschatology, most accounts state that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will return in the second coming to kill the Al-Masih al-Dajjal, the false Messiah, after which with an ancient tribe Jog and Magog, Yajuj Majuj would disappear. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala get rid of him, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam would rule the world, establish peace and justice, die a natural death, and then be buried alongside Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam at the fourth reserved tomb of the Green Dome in Medina. The place where Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is believed to return, the Umayyad Mosque in Damascus, is highly esteemed by Muslims as a fourth holiest site of Islam. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is widely venerated in Sufism, with numerous ascetic and mystic literature written and recited about the most important historical Jewish, Christian, Islamic prophet messenger to the Abrahamic faiths. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Indeed, I am the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet." Okay, thank you.
كذاك شيماء تسقي الروح بهجتها وتنتقي حبها من غير اختيار كل التباريك